Today's video is on Rani Rashmoni Das. Who is this Rani Rashmoni Das and why am I talking about her? Well, Rani Rashmoni Das is the redoubtable, indomitable Bengali woman, extremely resourceful woman who managed to outwit the powerful and crafty British East India Company in the 1840s. What did she do? Well, the British East India Company was headquartered in Calcutta during the 1840s, and Calcutta is on the banks of the Hooghly River, a distributary of the mighty Ganges. The fisher folk, the Bengali fisher folk, used to fish in the mighty waters of the Ganges, and it was free for everyone. No taxes were imposed, and the fishing community lived happily on the banks of the Ganges. But the crafty British East India Company decided to take matters into their own hands, and they imposed a tax on the poor members of the fishing community who belonged to the Shudra caste. They said that if you want to fish in the waters of the Ganges, then you have to pay a tax. Because while you are fishing, you are also obstructing riverine traffic. You are creating obstacles for our trade, for the steamships and the huge boats which used to run on the waters of the Ganges. The poor fishing community were in trouble. Where would they find money to pay such enormous taxes, and that too for fishing in their own Ganges? So they approached their landowners. These landowners belonged to the upper caste, and most of them were hand in gloves with the British East India Company. So none of them did anything to help these poor fishermen. So then, in desperation, they approached Rani Rashmoni Das. Rani Rashmoni Das herself was a Shudra. She had married Raj Chandra Das, a very wealthy entrepreneur. He had passed away a couple of years ago, and she was a widow with a very wealthy empire. She was somebody who had great empathy for the underdog, and she used all her mighty resources, all her legal acumen, her brilliance, and her courage to fight the British East India Company. So, what did she do? She approached the officials of the British East India Company and offered them 10,000 rupees as ijara. She said that she would take a 10-kilometer stretch of the Hooghly River on lease. And the British East India Company happily handed over the lease to her for an amount of 10,000 rupees. As soon as the leasehold was in her hand, what she did was she placed two massive, huge iron chains across a bend on the mighty Ganges. Thus, she created a barricade, and she invited the fisher folk to come in their skiffs and boats and fish to their heart's content in this barricaded water zone of the Hooghly. The British East India Company was nonplussed. They lost their trade. There was a traffic jam on the river waters. No ships were moving, no trading was happening, passenger ships were blocked, nothing could move. And they immediately set up an inquiry commission to find out what was happening. And they approached Rani Rashmoni. Rani Rashmoni was very cool. She said that she was behaving according to British law. The ijara or the lease had been handed to her, and it said that one had the right to protect their property according to British law. So that was what she was doing. She was protecting her property. That is why she had put up a iron barricade across the rivers of the Ganges. The company threatened her, but she was completely unaffected. She said that she was willing to pursue the case in court. Finally, the British East India Company, the mighty empire where the sun never sets, decided to repeal the law, and all taxation against the fishing community was dropped. Once again, the Ganga, the mighty Ganges, the Hooghly, was available to everyone to fish, to rejoice, and all because of this redoubtable, indomitable woman, Rani Rashmoni Das. So, thank you. Keep reading, keep going on.